Many of you have asked why so many of the houses in St. Louis have 3 layers of brick on each wall. And the reason for that cannot be told without first telling you a harrowing story of bravery and sacrifice. Today I will answer your questions by telling you about how one steamboat shaped an entire city. Hi everyone, my name is Ken. Welcome to This House. Today I am recounting the tragic tale of the fire of 1849. It was the spring of 1849. St. Louis was a bustling, up-and-coming city with a population of 63,000, and the city boundaries were quickly expanding up to 11th Street. At this point in time, St. Louis was about 3/4 of a mile in width and had about 3 miles of riverfront that harbored many steamboats. Being located at the junction of the Mississippi and the Missouri rivers, St. Louis was the last major city where settlers of the West could stop by and resupply during their journey to find gold in California. At this time, the city was dealing with a cholera epidemic, which would eventually claim 4,500 residents, which made up nearly 10% of the overall population. On May 17, 1849, the winds were blowing strongly and howling through the city alleys. It was around 9 p.m. when a hand-cranked fire alarm blared loudly, echoing throughout the city. The White Cloud, a paddled wheel steamboat on the Mississippi River, docked at the foot of Cherry Street, had caught fire. A volunteer fire department with 9 hand engines and hose reel wagons rushed down the street and towards the river as quickly as they could. When they arrived, they hooked their hoses into the city's rudimentary system of hydrants and pumped until they drained the old water reservoir, but this just was not enough. The fire had spread to the neighboring steamboat, the Edward Bates, where the moorings charred through, causing the Edward Bates to drift slowly down the Mississippi River. As it went with the river's tide, it collided with 22 other steamboats and shared its flames with each of them. Neither flatboats nor barges could withstand the blaze, and so they burned in its wake. Volunteer firefighters and citizens band together in an attempt to quell the flames, but the townspeople coming together with all of their efforts wasn't enough. The next several moments would prove crucial in defending the city. Nevertheless, devastation would follow. Where I'm standing right now is where most of the fire that we're about to talk about happened. The steamboats became an unrecognizable inferno that leapt to the riverfront buildings and consumed everything within its path, destroying everything along the waterfront levee. The fire then extended to Main Street, westward, and crossed Olive Street. After completely destroying the 3 blocks between Olive and 2nd Street and as far south as Market Street, it then ignited a large copper shop 3 blocks away and burned out 2 more city blocks. Volunteer firemen labored for 8 hours and were completely demoralized and exhausted as their efforts did nothing to stall the flames. At this point, the city's entire business district was at risk of being burnt to the ground. Something had to be done, something drastic. That is when the decision was made to get ahead of the fire and leave nowhere for its flames to flicker onward. They knew that this was their only option, to sacrifice a part of the city to save the rest of it. 6 businesses ahead of the fire were loaded with kegs of black powder and blown up in succession. Captain Thomas B. Targhee of Missouri Company No. 5 became a hero that night as he made his way building to building preparing the powder for detonation. He would then lose his life in the Phillips Music Store, the last business that needed to be destroyed to save the rest of the city. Without his heroic acts, the entire city would have been lost along with thousands of lives. It is because of his bravery and selfless acts that this city still stands today. The fire was the largest and most destructive fire St. Louis had ever experienced to date. When the fire was finally contained after 11 hours, 430 buildings were destroyed, 23 steamboats along the river with a dozen other boats were lost, and 3 people had died, including a fire captain. As a result of these fires, new building codes required that every new building would be constructed with 3 wides of stone or brick to more readily defend against the spread of fire and to ensure that a tragedy of this magnitude would never happen again. The St. Louis Fire of 1849 reshaped the city of St. Louis forever. St. Louis eventually rebounded from the fire and cholera outbreak and rebuilt the river district with brick and iron. The late Captain Targhee became a hero of the St. Louis Fire Department, which would be officially formed in 1857. Today, the Gateway Arch towers over the epicenter of this tragedy, and remnants of the fire can still be seen in nearby neighborhoods like Soulard, where almost every building now has 3 layers of brick. Thank you everybody for watching. Please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll see you next time on This House.